You know what I did? I resigned. I left my job in Nova Scotia. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me again, Alex, and again I'm back for another episode of my international student journey here in Canada. Hi guys, I'm back. I know I haven't been posting international student content for the past few months. I believe it's 7 months, and I just want to give you a life update, and I hope that you can learn from my experience, guys, because I want to share with you a lot of experience that I've been through, and good and bad, and I hope you can learn from it, especially if you want to go home to your home country. So anyways, for those who are new to my YouTube channel, my name is Alex, and I was an international student way back 2019. I took 1-year program, which is palliative care nursing at Niagara College in Welland campus. And after that, I was able to get my postgraduate working permit. I moved from Ontario to Nova Scotia, and I worked in Nova Scotia as a continuing care assistant in a long-term nurse facility. And I work as a CCA, continuing care assistant. And with that, I was able to acquire experience and able to qualify for Atlantic Immigration Program. Atlantic Immigration Program is the pathway that helped me to become a permanent resident of Canada. So I got my permanent residency way back 2021 around September, and I also got my license as a Canadian registered nurse around December. So yeah, I got my permanent residency on September, and I got my active license on December as a Canadian registered nurse. So as of now, I am a Canadian registered nurse and a permanent resident of Canada. And guys, by the way, my license is in Ontario. And so yeah, before that, I am a registered nurse specifically in the province of Ontario. So again, I got my permanent residency in September, and then around May on 2022, I went home to the Philippines. So with that, I was really hoping and I was really longing to go home. I miss my family, I miss my friends. And so I went home. So I really wanted to have a long vacation, but I was thinking, I couldn't have a long vacation, you know. It's so hard to get vacation approval from your employer, and that's just so impossible. So you know what I did? I resigned. I left my job in Nova Scotia. It's one of my biggest decisions. I left my job in Nova Scotia, and I was really contemplating about life and everything, and I decided to not go back there anymore and move back again to Ontario. Why Ontario? Because first, number one reason is I do have my close relatives and family here. And then the second is I got my license already here. So by the way, guys, if you're in Nova Scotia and you wanted to pursue your career in Nova Scotia as a registered nurse, most of my friends stayed in Nova Scotia, and what they did was they just their license in Ontario, they just like registered for another process to become a Canadian registered nurse in the province of Nova Scotia. So I really don't know the entire process about that because I didn't go through, because again, I was thinking that I don't want to go back there anymore. Not because it's not nice over there. It's beautiful. Nova Scotia is beautiful. If you ask me if was it worth it, yes. Why? Because I got my permanent resident of Canada. It would be hard for me if I stayed here in Ontario. I'll be more stressful. I don't have an employer. What am I gonna do after the postgraduate working permit? So moving from Ontario to Nova Scotia and becoming a permanent resident of Canada is worth it. And by the way, guys, most of my friends are telling me na if you go back to Ontario, you might have problems when you apply for your Canadian citizenship. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, and it was really hard for me. So I was saying na I really wanted to move back to Ontario, and people will have a lot of opinions, but you have to know what you want and you have to make a decision, and you have to stand by it, that you know this is what you want. But I was able to go home in the Philippines, and I was able to have a long vacation. So I was planning to have a 3 months vacation. And you know what happened? I lost my permanent residency card. I was so clumsy. Yes, I am. And so I cannot go back to Canada if I don't have that permanent residency card. So I was so stressed out. I'm running out of money, and how am I gonna go back? So I have to talk. I'll be talking in a different video about the process about that. Getting back to Canada, the entire experience of deciding how to get back to Canada without the permanent residency card. But you know what I did, just a little bit of information about that. So I didn't know what to do, and so what I did was, since I have a US visa, I went to the United States of America. So again, when I was international student, I was able to get a US visa. It's a 10-year multiple entry US tourist visa. So I went to the United States, and then I was able to see my family in the United States for like a month, and I came to Canada by bus. So I crossed the border by bus. So I went there and showed and told the officer that I was a permanent resident of Canada, but then I lost my permanent residency card, and he just let me in. So yeah, for those who lost their permanent residency card, I don't want anybody to experience that, but in case, I'll be making a different video about that, because that was stressful, and I want to share with you the tips and the steps that you can take as an option, because for me, being in that situation was stressful. But it's fine. I mean, I was able to spend more time with my family in the Philippines and as well as in United States. So I was just still blessed and lucky. And also, I wanted to talk about how to get US visa while you're still an international student. It is so important, guys. Why? It's an option. Honestly, it's an option for you to cross, and it's an opportunity that you can get. Go grab it. It's just there. So yeah, I'll be talking about what will you do if you lost your permanent residency card, and what will you do to get a US tourist visa while you're still an international student. And so specifically as an international student, I want to talk about my part-time job experience before. I wanted to talk about the expenses that I had, and what else? Postgraduate working permit. Really wanted to tackle about that topic because a lot of you has been asking me. Though I'm not really an expert when it comes to open work permit, because guys, for those who have spouses, you can bring your husband here in Canada, and they will have an open work permit with you while you are in a student permit. Your spouse could have approved for an open work permit, so they could work here full-time while you're studying. So yes, we'll talk about working permits, student permits, postgraduate working permits. And when it comes to nursing career, here's one of the good news that I have. Since I was in Nova Scotia, I moved back to Ontario. There's this program called Community Commitment Program for Nurses. So it's CCPN. I'm currently in Ontario. I could have 25,000 Canadian dollars as a sign-in bonus to work as a nurse here in Ontario. So that's a big start for me. Oh my God, that really helps me to get started. I didn't expect that. I didn't know about that, but I was able to know about that from one of the vloggers. By the way, I was watching his vlogs. His name was Paul, and I'm thankful for that vlog, because for me, it was a starting point where I searched for jobs that I could qualify for that CCPN, or Community Commitment Program for Nurses. And for those who wanted to move back from a different province, when you got your permanent resident, and then you wanted to go back to Ontario, you can avail for this Community Commitment program for nurses, CCPN, and it's so helpful, guys. So when it comes to nursing career, I'll also be sharing with you nursing interviews that I had before getting my job. And so, you know, I just want to share with you nursing questions, what to expect, what to answer. And so, yeah, it's kind of different. For me, it was challenging that, oh, I'm gonna go get a nursing job and I'll be facing this interview and I don't know what to expect. So for me as international student, international educated nurse, I'll be sharing with you some interview questions as well. So other than that, yeah, we'll talk about my nursing career, um, international student experience, as well as permanent residency programs and pathways, and all of those stuff. And thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing. I've noticed that even though I haven't been uploading videos, my followers, my subscribers are growing, and I really do appreciate that, guys. And thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Thank you.